What's up, you guys? It's your girl Breathe the Diva, and I'm back with another video. So today I'm going to be doing a video about what happens when sterile instruments are not clean. If you want to see this video, please stay tuned. Alright, so let's just get straight into this video. So I know on a previous video I had said, like, you have to take your job seriously, because if you don't, if you skip steps and stuff, it can lead to infections of the patients and also death. So today I'm going to be doing 2 articles that I have showing like things that have happened at their hospital with constantly dirty instrumentation. All right, you guys, so I have my other phone here and I'm just going to be reading from the article and then we're going to elaborate on it, okay? All right, you guys, so let's go ahead and read this article. So state and federal investigators have released their reports into the sterilization issues of surgical instruments at Porter Adventist Hospital. 2 months after the hospital resumed surgeries, Porter Adventist Hospital has revealed that 5,800 patients were notified they could have been affected by surgical instruments cleaning issues. The hospital says the risk is extremely low, but continues to offer free testing for those who want them. The original issue that happened at the hospital is now being called a human problem. It's been determined instruments for orthopedic and spine surgery were not properly scrubbed. Hospital's officials tell CBS 4 that the bone and tissue material is difficult to remove. The reports released on Tuesday highlight the deficiencies found, as well as a plan of actions to correct the problem. The Colorado Department of Public Health and Environment conducted extensive interviews with hospital staff who reported in dozens of cases, finding instruments clogged with blood and others with bone or hair stuck to them. The department found that the hospital failed to provide proper oversight and sufficient staffing levels, which ultimately led to the careless sanitation techniques. In one interview with a manager, there was an admission that the sterilization process was unsafe due to the lack of staffing. When the hospital documented a rise in surgical site infections, there was no evidence any actions was taken to address the issue, and the cases continued to rise. Oh my gosh. The facility experienced system failures that led to inadequate sterilization of surgical equipment, 76 instances of contaminated surgical instruments and trays were found from January 1st, 2017 to April 2nd, 2018. The contamination included chunks of bone, blood, cement, black residue, dead bug, and hair. Delays occurred in scheduled surgeries because clean instruments were not available in a timely manner. Surgeries were interrupted because the clean instruments were not available. The facility did not report some surgical site infections to the National Data Bank, the National Healthcare Safety Network operated by the CDC, because of the inadequacy of the surgical site infections tracking system. The department is determining whether to impose any licensure sanctions. Health officials say since the facility is certified by the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, CMS may, at its discretion, impose sanctions. Let's see. So it looks like they are changing some things, which is like establishing staff planning to ensure adequate staffing. Yeah, anyway, so let's just talk about this, okay? So they had instances where these dirty instruments showed up in the cases as they was doing cases. I have an issue. Here's the issue. When you are doing a lot of cases as a surgical, not as a surgical tech, as a sterile processing tech, and there is not enough people to help you in decon, or there is not enough staff, you seem to rush. And I get that. You rush because it's like, I'm the only one back here. The stuff is piling up. But y'all, take y'all time. Regardless if the case has got to get canceled or whatever, just take your time. Because if you rush and you hurry up and you get that instrumentation out, and they end up finding bone, blood, guts, whatever in the stuff, in the instrumentation, it's like the case have to be canceled anyway. So just take your time. Y'all, I cannot believe this. Like, and it been several instances, and they also said, like, they didn't do anything to correct the problem. So where I'm working at now, when there is an issue, it has to be a solution. It has to be like a solution for it. How we're going to fix this. That's what they want to see. Like, from higher up, higher management, they want to know, okay, they wanted to do it like this. This is the problem. What have we done to address that issue? So we can't just continue to just keep going on and on like, oh, you're ignoring it. It has to be a solution for it. So if you know that y'all understaffed, you need to be out here having job fairs, sign-on bonuses. Like, it's crazy. So they pretty much the first couple of times didn't do anything to address the issue. And then they said, like, it's a human problem, which is human error. Like, as sterile processing techs, we make mistakes all the time. So that's inevitable. But the fact that it was chunks of bone, blood, semen, and black residue, they should have took all the people back to decon and retrained them over. Retrain them over. You need to flush. And you need to scrub. Scrub and brush. Y'all, a dead bug and hair. That's why we wear hair nets. That's why we wear bonnets. So it shouldn't be no hair getting into the trays. So also I feel like they could go back and look at that PPE, ensuring that people is wearing the right PPE as well. And it's saying in dozens of cases. So this is not like their first offense. This is dozens. So somebody from upper management should have came down and like, okay, now it's getting too crazy. But I do get it. Them orthopedic loaner trays, they are extremely hard to clean. That's why you must take your time with them. All right, y'all. So we're going to go into the next scenario. All right, y'all. I said scenario, but articles. So the next article, this one is in Detroit. Dirty missing instruments plague DMC surgeries. So let's read. The Midtown Hospital of Detroit Medical Center has struggled for years to properly clean surgical instruments, stoking doctors' fears about patient safety. A Detroit News investigation has found. The news has obtained more than 200 pages of internal emails and reports. Over 200 pages of internal emails and reports. It's an issue. That's crazy. Indicating that surgeons and staffers have complained for at least 11 years. Come on. 11 years? At this point, the sterile processing manager need to be fired. Or y'all need to bring somebody that's well knowledge to come to this facility and help y'all out. For at least 11 years about improperly cleaned, broken, and missing instruments. The complaints have continued under the tenure of the for-profit tenant Healthcare of Dallas, Texas, which acquired the DMC in 2013, the documents show. The records show improperly sterilized tools, complicated operations from appendectomies and brain surgeries to cleft lip, palate, and spinal fusions. Patients were kept anesthesia for up to an hour as staffers replaced it. So you mean to tell me y'all instruments are so dirty? Their instruments were so dirty, you guys, that they had to keep people under anesthesia until they could get more instruments. That is crazy. But believe it or not, these things happen. That's why we need to take our job serious as a sterile processing tech, y'all, because like stuff like this can really happen, and it is happening. So dozens of operations were canceled at the last minute, some after anesthesia was administered. At least twice, a child's chest or skull was open for surgeries when the doctor discovered dirty instruments. In January 2015, open heart surgery for a 7-month-old girl was interrupted at the Children's Hospital of Michigan because a tube leading to a bypass machine was clogged with blood from a previous operation. So you go in to get surgery, y'all, and I'm really not surprised because it does happen. You go in to get surgery, right? And you're getting the surgery and the instruments that they use, something fall out on you, and it's from somebody else. You don't know if that person got HIV, chlamydia, syphilis. You don't know what they got. And not only that, that is infection. That is just an infection waiting to happen. Okay? It said, we are putting patients at risk frequently and now counseling up to 10 cases this week. Promises just aren't cutting it. Joseph Lilly, chief surgeon at the Children's Hospital, wrote in an email to top administrators on June 29, 2015. At least his third warning in 6 months. That's crazy. Doctors are concerned because old blood and bone, even when sterilized, are biohazards that can trigger infection, septic shock, and even death if they come into contact with patients. In one recent 17-month period, the Children's Hospital logged 186 complaints about dirty, missing, or incomplete instrument sets. The emails offer a rare glimpse into an issue that experts such as Chicago-based surgical instruments designer Jim something said is growing at hospitals nationwide as the number and complexity of surgical tools have increased. And while the issue of improperly cleaned instruments at some hospitals are garnered recent publicity, 4 DMC surgeries and 4 former administrators told the news the duration and the severity of problems at the system is unusual. Y'all, this is crazy. This is something that has to be fixed, he said. Milan said the situation stems from a central sterile processing department in the basement of receiving hospital. The department cleans instruments for all 5 hospitals at the DMC center. Okay, this could be a problem too because this one hospital is cleaning all the instruments for all the centers. Milan said the issues have equally affected all 5 hospitals, which perform more than 37,000 operations per year. Okay, y'all doing a lot. Y'all are doing a lot, and do you have the proper staff? Everybody want to look down at sterile processing like, oh, y'all not doing it. Yes, but are y'all properly staffed? Not having the proper staff can cause issues and mistakes. That's crazy. 37,000 operations per year? Yeah, that is a lot. That's a lot. In late May, the DMC signed a contract with Unity Health Trust of Birmingham, Alabama, to take over management of sterile process. Okay, well, at least they got somebody else in to help, with the process. The agreement came one day after the news first inquired about the situation. The deal began June 1st, did not involve job losses, and allows the company to recommend and implement changes. Okay, so good nobody got fired. Because sometimes, y'all, they will fire you for making mistakes. If you keep making mistakes, some places will fire you. Say, what we are not is uncaring. What we are not is negligence. What we are is concern. This week, the DMC reiterated Malik's assertions, adding the system is working to enhance the standardization and efficiency of our sterilization process and maintaining that no safety issues or surgical site infections have been reported due to unsterile instruments. Okay, so that's good. That's good. Okay, and then I have another one, y'all. So I'm not going to say the name of, I guess, the little girl or whatever, but it was the patient. She was 7 months old when they sold instruments complicated surgery to fix life-threatening heart defects. She came to the hospital partially to repair a condition known as pterology, a combination of 4 heart abnormalities that prevents adequate circulation of oxygen-rich blood, okay? As her relatives word in the waiting room, she was put anesthesia and her breastbone was cut open. A team led by chief cardiologist tried to connect her to a bypass machine to keep blood flowing during the operation. The operation stopped, though, when a suction tube needed to draw blood from her appeared to be clogged. Okay, so that's what we just discussed. So, y'all, this is what I'm saying. Like, these things can happen, and they probably will happen. Like, you probably make a mistake one time at your facility. But the issue is, the problem is we need to try to take our time, not skip the steps. I know I had mentioned that in another video. We should not be skipping steps. We want to take our time as a tech, use our integrity. Because if you're getting surgery, you don't want these things to happen to you, right? So, like, I just wanted to show y'all the articles and stuff because it's true. It really happens on a day-to-day basis. So, yeah, you guys, I hope you guys like this information. It's kind of something new and different for my channel. But if you like it, please comment at the bottom. What do y'all think about this? Like, what do y'all think about finding bones, semen, and stuff in the trays? Let me know. But as always, be blessed, be kind. Peace out. Breathe the Diva is signing out. Bye.